was in the news. Huw Jones is not a good defender. So
what does that feel like when that's happening?
It's difficult. I think, yeah, it's very hard to sort of take that, especially when it's in the public eye, because I still get it now. I said that obviously people don't talk about it, coaches don't talk about it, pundits who know the game well don't talk about my defense because they can see that I'm a good defender, but people who don't know the game as well or are just casual fans maybe will have heard Huw Jones is a bad defender and will just still roll with it because
they might have watched the Six Nations in 2018 when you missed a couple of tackles, and then it's still in their head that when they watch Six Nations in 2025 that they might break through at 13.
Exactly. I think it's one of those things you can't completely remove a stigma like that. I think I can play as well as I obviously as well as I can, and I'll get sort of the recognition from the sort of the people that matter, I guess, my teammates, coaches, the guys who are sort of directing my career. But yeah, you do sometimes get comments from people and just seeing that, Huw Jones is a rubbish defender, he can't defend. And it is difficult.
I'm a big believer in if somebody's not a man in the arena, then I'm not going to take what they've got to say particularly seriously. So I've had loads of amazing feedback from really good podcasters that have helped me develop my question set, my style, my cadence, how I speak, the production that I do in terms of the clips and everything that I post. But if some random person was like, "Oh, your podcast's a bit crap," I wouldn't take it on board because they probably haven't even listened and they're just being negative. In the same way, if some of the pundits are saying like, "Oh, Hugh's massively improved his defence," or if somebody like an O'Driscoll says, "Oh, actually, I think Huw defended poorly in that game," you would take that more seriously than somebody being just throwing shit at you. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you're going to take it seriously from the people that know the game and the people whose opinions matter. And obviously, I know when I see people saying, "Oh, he's a rubbish defender," I know they don't know what they're talking about.
How much media do you consume?
Not a lot, to be fair. I think I don't see anything. You don't really see any comments or anything on Instagram. It's just pictures, isn't it? And the odd DM that I will get, I tend to just block people straight away if it's negative. I've not had one for a long time, so I must be doing something right. In terms of the other stuff, I don't actually. So I'm on sort of Twitter X, what it is now, but not a lot of rugby stuff comes up. I don't know, my algorithm must just be different, but I don't actually see. I mean, a lot of it I just follow sort of funny comedian accounts or whatever and just see funny videos. But I don't see a lot of news around rugby. I think a lot of stuff now you have to subscribe as well, which I can't be bothered to do. So most of the information I get is from guys at training or from the coaches. But
somebody send a screenshot into the group chat or something like that.
Well, it could be something like that or something that's someone else has seen. I know my dad's bad for it. He goes on Facebook and reads all the comments after games and stuff, and then he'll sometimes come to me and be like, "Oh, like this person said this," and I was like, "Well, I don't care. Like, that's not for me to know."
There's a level of maturity required for you to feel like that, though. I think probably just given age, like I think you're 31, Huw, I think social media has grown massively over the course of your career. So maybe when you were like 18, 19 breaking through, there wasn't the same activity on Facebook or Twitter that would allow you to maybe get swayed. So at least now you're more mature when that's actually available to you in terms of people commenting. You can kind of like water off a duck's back. But when you're younger stage, it's probably even harder for players coming through now.
Oh, for sure. I think it's difficult because when you're first starting out, like those games are so important and like, if someone has said a comment about you that's not good, that could really derail your career. I'm at a point now. I've been around the block. I've played enough that I know that doesn't matter. That's not going to affect me. That's not going to affect my career. But yeah, when you're younger, you can get swayed by that sort of thing, and it's quite a dangerous thing because it can really put people off their game. It can knock people's confidence, and without confidence, you're not the same player. So it can be difficult.
Yeah, we saw Owen Farrell move to France basically off the back of abuse he was getting online, and that's one of the most. He seems like a really resilient guy as well.
Yeah, I think he was getting some of the worst probably, and he's had it his whole career. And I think anyone that really knows about rugby will know that he is a fantastic player and has done amazing things for England. A lot of people would say he's England's best player or one of their best players they've ever had. but people just can't help themselves. If they don't like a certain style of play, or if they just decide that they don't like a player, then they just give them abuse, whether that's online, whether they're just talking about them in the pub, or whether they're booing them at the ground. It's not great, and you hate to see it, but I guess people are human. It's always going to happen.
Of course.
And I know that I don't have it as bad as a lot of other people do. I think I look at footballers. You look at...
Well, you live in Glasgow as well, so you understand what it's like for the Old Firm.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's just so much attention on it. It can obviously be really difficult for players.
Yeah, one of my friends played golf with Jack Butland, who plays in goal for Rangers, and he will cancel the round on a Sunday if the Saturday's gone badly. Even if he's played fine, he's still cancelling Sunday because he just knows that the fans don't want to see him enjoying himself off the back of it. They want to be like, what's he doing at Loch Lomond or the Carrick or St Andrews? And you're thinking, oh, he's got you probably play better next week if he gets time to decompress, but he knows that the optics of it are really bad.
You just can't go out in public. Yeah. It must be difficult, I think. Glasgow's obviously not really a rugby city, so we can walk about and not really be noticed. But yeah, for footballers, it must be so tough. I think of guys in the Premier League. Probably think of someone like Harry Maguire. Probably got the most abuse out of anyone I can think of in football, really. And I don't know. I think he's come out and said how it's probably affected his mental health, and the kind of resilience he must have. But also, during those times, how do you leave the house? Because you know that he's obviously a high-profile guy. He's pretty noticeable. He's a big guy. He's got a massive head. But yeah, how do you go to the shops? You can't do anything. Obviously, it's fine for us. We can go
There's
out
a level of fame
easy.
where things tip over from being like, oh, Huw, you played great at the weekend, let's get a photo. Or if somebody sees you at David Lloyd or the gym, whatever, somebody's, oh, you played well, or good luck for next week.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But there's a tipping point where it's like, oh God, I get noticed when I go to Waitrose, or I go to the Aldi and I'm getting a coffee in the West End and somebody's hassling you. That's not the same.
Yeah. No, I'm really thankful that I've never had that. Most of the time when I'm out and about, if people do spot me, they're generally really nice about it. And even if you've had a bad game, they'll just be like, oh, unlucky on the weekend. Or they'll just say a game that you had that was a little bit further back. They'll be like, oh, well, you played really well in that game.
Yeah.
So,
what's been some of your favourite games for Scotland?
I think the one that everyone always talks about is the England game in 2018. That was great because the build up to it throughout the week, we had trained so well. And it was so big because I don't know how long it was before that we hadn't won, but it was a long time. And the year before, we'd got absolutely pumped down at Twickenham. So it was huge because not only was it kind of like a revenge mission, it was also a chance to create history. I don't think anyone expected us to win, but everyone across the board had such a brilliant game. And obviously I scored 2 tries, and that's what everyone likes to talk about and comes up to me and says, oh, the way you played against England. But it was one of those games that is just so fun to play because everyone's playing well. Yeah. And you just feel like the whole team's on another level.
How often have you felt like that on the pitch in a Scotland jersey?
A few times, yeah. I think the best part of a game when you can really feel that is it's like the last 10 minutes when the game's won and you just feel so much more powerful than the opposition. You can see that they're tired, and even though you're tired, you have this energy that you can just keep going and going. And you may sort of score a couple more tries and really finish them off. Or it may be that you're just defending and they're still plugging away, but it kind of feels easy. Like you're blowing, you're tired, you're looking around, like you're working hard, and it could be a long defensive set, but the crowd's behind you. It's just such a good atmosphere, and you just feel like that's probably when it feels at its best because you've won.
Yeah, I can see the way you're smiling talking about it. It really means something, and it's like almost a flow state, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think why that game in particular is mentioned and why the Scotland team that we watch now is remembered more favourably than ones of the past is because of the free-flowing style of the wins as well. So some of the wins against England, even the draw at Twickenham where we just scored so many tries, it's very different. When I was growing up, we had a bit of a battle with England. We might win by a Dan Parks drop goal or a Chris Patterson penalty, and it was a bit of a kind of a war of attrition. Whereas now I feel like we go toe to toe We
Yeah.
outscore them almost every time we play in terms of tries and like flair, and it's so much more fun to watch.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what has probably got the country and fans around us. I think we've had however many sellouts over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. I think most games we have now at Murrayfield are sellouts. And I think because people want to come and watch, because we play an exciting brand of rugby. And yeah, like we don't always win, but you can pretty much guarantee we're going to score pretty good tries. And I think that's what's exciting. We have really skillful players. We've got great sort of powerful, quick backs. We've got skillful forwards as well. And that's a key thing in how we play, is because we know we're not the biggest team out there. I think there have been games where we've been overpowered by the likes of Ireland, South Africa, sometimes England or France, because they just have that size and power on us. And so we've known obviously for a while that we have to adapt and play a different way. And whether that's playing at speed, whether that's sort of playing in the right areas and kicking a little bit more, or getting it to the wide channels and getting it to sort of a couple of danger men out wide. That's our strengths. And so that's what we play to. And I think that shows in the tries that we score. And when we're hot, we're hot. Like sort of when we win well, we can be unstoppable. But it's obviously we're trying to find that consistency and do it all the time and try and have that overall game. But yeah, I think what has got sort of Scotland rugby fans excited is that we're not playing a boring style of rugby. So when we win, it's amazing. Obviously, when we lose, it can be disappointing, but we still score good tries.
If you're new to the podcast, make sure you've hit the subscribe or the follow button on whatever platform you're listening on, so I can keep getting fantastic guests just like this one.